much do you think a small streamer makes on Twitch in roughly a year? Let's say this person has 100 viewers. What about 10? A lot of people think that if they're going to make it on Twitch, they need to make it into the top 1% of streamers. The fact of the matter is, if you really want streaming to be your main gig, you need to make it in the top 0.1%. And that means the vast majority of people who stream on Twitch are never going to make it. They're never going to be full-time streamers. So that then begs the question, how much can you make if you're not a full-time streamer? And how much do you need to make to be a full-time streamer? I myself have not made it on Twitch. I am not a big streamer, and I likely never will be. I'm very firmly in the small streamer category, and I'm pretty okay with that. As over the past year, I've built up a really dedicated community that I love, and I love streaming. But a couple of weeks ago on stream, I actually showed my chat my analytics. A little bit of transparency for you. I opened up my Twitch analytics and I showed them how much I made in a month and then how much I made over the whole year. And personally, I was pretty surprised by my analytics. I actually hadn't realized how much I'd made through streaming. And I thought it would be kind of cool to make this video and share it with people and I guess give people who are wanting to get into streaming already are a kind of idea of, I guess, how much you can make if you're a small streamer like me. Now, if you've clicked on this video and you have no idea who I am, which is the likely thing, you probably don't care about me and my story and my journey, which is so fine. Like, you don't have to care about me. And you probably just want me to show you the money. So you can skip ahead to this timestamp, or you can click and use the chapters features down below. But if you want to know a little bit about what these analytics are, how I got them, who I am, what kind of streams I do, what kind of community I have, then just bear with me for a little while because I'm kind of going to be explaining the background of how I got these analytics and I guess how you could perhaps replicate them if that's something you want to do. All right, so before I get into the little story of me as a streamer and what I do, there are a couple of disclaimers I need to make about these analytics and just about myself as a streamer in general. Firstly, I did not start streaming in 2024. So the first time I clicked go live was not back in 2024. It was not a year ago. I actually originally started streaming in 2021 because of Corpse Husband. Enough said. And so I came back to streaming with a small Discord community and around 260 followers. And so that hard work, that really awful phase of streaming to nobody, of having no chatters, I'd already gotten past that phase. I'd already moved beyond it. And so I had my foot in the door. The second thing I need to disclose is that I have been completing my honors degree this year. So I have not at all been streaming consistently. And this is going to impact my metrics and it's going to impact how much money I made, what my viewership is like. Because I was streaming on average 1 to 2 times a week. I'm now back to streaming 4 to 5 times a week, but obviously the fact that I was not streaming consistently means that my metrics would be worse, my analytics would be worse. I also was not really posting on YouTube and other social media, and so all of that is impacting everything. I was not working consistently on my streams, my metrics are not going to be consistent. Thirdly, I'm a girl. That might sound really ridiculous and dumb to say, but female small streamers have somewhat of an easier time building an audience than male small streamers. In my experience, they typically tend to get a little bit more gifts and donos as well. There is the downside of like incels and misogyny and like that side of things. So it balances out in the end, I think. And fourthly, I kind of just want to remind you that streaming metrics are highly variable. So just because you have the same or more average viewers than I does not mean you will earn the same as me. You could have more viewers and be earning less than me. You could have way less viewers and be earning way more than me. So it really kind of all just depends on you, your community, how generous your community is, what kind of community you have, how consistent your community is, and how consistent you are, and how much time and effort and energy you are willing to put into your streams. So just keep all of that in mind. So before we get into the analytics, I did say I'd explain a little bit about kind of who I am as a streamer. So I'm Phoebe, in case you didn't know. And I'm a South African streamer. The benefit of that is South Africa has a pretty dedicated, pretty close-knit streaming community. We all kind of support each other, we all help each other out, and that's a really lovely thing because it enables us to really kind of get the most out of our little streaming community. I'm a variety streamer. I do IRL. I'm a scientist, so I sometimes take my chat and community into my lab with me and I show them the experiments I'm working on. But I also do things like hiking, going to restaurants and getting noodles. That was one. I've got a lot more IRL streams planned for the future. And then I'm a variety gamer, so I play everything from horror to games like the Coral Gardeners, and I do Souls-like games. I've been playing Another Crab's Treasure. The last game I finished was Black Mesa. The game I'm currently playing is Hollow Knight, so you get a rough idea of kind of the games that I play. Because I have quite a lot of variety, my streams dip and peak quite rapidly. Because, for example, when I was playing Subnautica, I had an average viewership of around 30. And then when I moved to my next game, which I think was Portal, if I'm not mistaken, that viewership dropped down to around 5. So that was a fun time. It happens. It's part of the process. But I'm very varied. I've got a great community. It's a mostly adult community. I don't have that many youngsters in my community, which is a very conscious decision that I made. Back in 2021, I had a much younger audience. Not as fun. So I've been more conscious of cultivating a more adult audience when I came back to streaming. Overall, I have a pretty good community. It's spread out all over the world. I have viewers from Europe, viewers from Asia, viewers from Australia, viewers from South Africa, and a handful of viewers from America. Not that many. And I do occasionally post on YouTube. I post shorts mostly, I guess, and then the occasional long form video. My YouTube and TikTok videos do not do particularly well. I am lucky if they get over 2,000 views. So that's a rough idea of who I am, kind of how I exist in the social media ecospace. Okay, we're now going to go through the clips, what you've been waiting for, from that stream where I disclosed everything. But I will be popping in to update some of the metrics and give you a little bit more detailed breakdowns. But let's get into it. Let's take a look.
You guys hear what Moist Critical did? He turned off all the monetization on like YouTube and Twitch because he was like, I have so much money. I don't need more. Stop giving me your money. I was hoping he was going to be like, if you're going to support a streamer, support a small streamer. He didn't, though. He said donate to charity, which valid. You're so valid for that. Because I've always seen that. I've seen like, I remember I was thinking about it recently where a big YouTuber was like, oh, I don't have that much money. I was like, you have 8,000 Twitch subscribers. At a minimum, if it's $1 per subscription, that's $8,000 a month that you are making. Dude, $1,000 right now would change my life. I can show you guys my earnings on Twitch if you want. Like, I'll be transparent. You guys can see how much a small streamer makes. I don't think anyone will care, but I'll show you how much I make. This is my Twitch revenue for 19th of September to the 18th of October. I've made $122. We're doing very well this month, chat. Now, if I break down my revenue, most of it is gifted subs. And that's probably mostly Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Little bit here, $0.09 ads, $0.1 turbo. That's it. Sorry. No, please don't say sorry, Sarah. I'm so grateful for you. Ad rev here is so trash. Yeah. Oh, when I started. Okay. So since I started streaming again, I've gained 493 follows. I've had 483 subscriptions. I have an average of 9 viewers, slay. And I've made $790. Dude, I could have bought a PC if I was saving all of that, but I'm stupid, so I wasn't. And I've streamed for 297 hours. So if I go to earnings, you can see it a bit more clearly. Yeah. So yeah, I've made $790, slay. 483 subscriptions, 4 hours and 23 minutes of ad breaks in 300 hours. I know. That's like what, $2 an hour? Yeah. That's like $3 an hour. That's not bad. Okay, it's not. It's like $2.50 an hour. That is more than $2 an hour. Yeah. I think people stream on Twitch for the community more than anything. Yeah, I do. But it's cool to see. Like, this is a small streamer's revenue. Twitch has a very Yeah, that's why I don't want to move to, like, YouTube or anything, because it doesn't. Or Facebook. The Facebook streaming is a wild place. I run 3 minutes of ads at the start of every stream to turn off pre-roll. The only ads I have on my stream are pre-roll. I do not run ads on my stream because I think it deters viewers and current viewers. personal opinion. Some people think allowing pre-roll to run deters viewers. Children in Nike's factory out earn you. 790, 266 an hour. Sorry. So I'm not out. So Nike workers aren't out earning me, chat. I'm out earning Nike workers. Yeah. I'm earning pretty well for a small streamer, actually.
All right, I'm just popping in here to show you an updated version of these analytics as I recorded this video sometime in October and it's now November. So as you can see, I've actually this year made 831 and change dollars. I've had 507 subscriptions and I've streamed 314 hours. So still around that $2.50 mark per hour of streaming. Now, by American standards, this is not nearly enough to live and survive off of, and yes, it is true, it's not enough for me to live and survive off of here in South Africa either, but it is actually above the minimum wage, so not bad, not bad.
Wait, pre-roll stops other programmed ads from running? I didn't know that. Yeah, it does. Where's your Bugatti, Phoebe? Guys, we gotta get me a PC first. I currently have 67 subscribers.
All right, so I'm just popping in one last time to kind of give you an idea of where my income's coming from. So as you can see here, it is a bit small, so I'll break it down. $797 of my income is just from subs. Paid, Prime, and gifted subs, with gifted subs taking up $614 of that. So most of it is through gifted subs. A little bit through cheering, a little bit through power-ups. That's my bits component. And then ads is only $9.66. So it's a tiny portion of how much I make. And as I mentioned, I don't really run ads on my stream.
This is my Twitch revenue. Cool, huh? It's actually, when I saw that number, I was like, damn, damn, I've made money, chat. I was like, I could have bought a PC, chat. I've wasted it. What have I done with that money? Yes, PC first, but Bugatti comes after. I just woke up. Well, how does that song go? I just woke up in my new Bugatti. That's not including donos. I've probably made, like, I could have bought a PC. I'm not telling you how much I made. Anyway, that's what a small streamer makes.
Before I close out this video, there is kind of one thing that I did want to say, which is if you are thinking of becoming a streamer, or if you've just started out and you think you're going to be the next Kaisenat, Iron Mouse, Ludwig, Cinna, just to name a few, you're not. And I don't mean that to be mean, I don't mean that to crush your dreams. The fact of the matter is, the chances of you becoming a big streamer are tiny. But more so, if you're only doing it to become a big streamer, you're not going to survive the small streamer phase. Because when you're not growing at the rate you want to, when you're streaming to 0 people, you're just not going to be able to withstand that. You're not going to be able to stomach it. It's rough. When you get raided by Nazis, when you get hate raided, when people make awful comments about you and your body, when you have misogynists, when you have racists in your chat, you're just not going to be able to deal with it. That's just a handful of the things that I've experienced while being on Twitch. And if you are going to be able to push through those more difficult parts of streaming, you need to really enjoy it. So you have to do streaming because you want to do it, because you like doing it, and because you have fun doing it, because you're doing it for the community, the engagement, the fun of it, because you love playing video games or you love entertaining people, not because you think you're going to be the next big streamer who's going to make millions and millions. That's not the reason why you should do it. People will also be able to see through it. If you're only in it for money, if you're only in it for fame, viewers, when you're a small streamer, will see that and they won't want to engage with you in the same kind of way as somebody who they see as just genuinely having a good time or raging until they want to throw their computer out the window. Either one. But yeah, I love being a streamer and I don't need to be the next best thing to keep streaming. I'm going to keep doing it whether I have 100,000 viewers or whether I have one. And it's me on a different browser. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Maybe I'll see you in another video, maybe I won't, but enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!